of these helmets really quick. Hopefully it comes out. Hopefully I can do it quickly. I'm afraid though that it may not be as quick as I think, so we'll see. So let me go ahead and pull up YouTube so we can look at the comments you guys leave behind. And I'll just stick my iPad back here so I can see what you guys are saying. And let's do an audio check just to make sure you guys can hear me. Yep, perfect. All right, so today we are going to, hey Jinx Caliber, we are going to clean and paint one of these helmets. So this helmet looks pretty clean and pretty good. I'm not going to paint this one as I want to have one example that looks really good like this. So I'm going to actually do this one here so I can show you guys start to finish, because this is usually how you get them, with some powder on it, just like that. Thanks, Steven. I appreciate it. So first thing you need to do is get yourself some alcohol. The higher the percent, the better. This one's 99. Ooh, nice. And then I need some paper towels. Right before you paint, you always want to do a dry wipe on the parts you're painting. Now I'll show the color in a few minutes of what I use, so you guys can get the exact matching color to make it easier for you guys. Let's just go ahead and drip my toothbrush in there. We got a little motorized power going on here. Motorized power. And we will just scrub-a-dub-dub. And get all the white crud. Scrub-a-dub-dub, get the white crud. Burr, 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 burr. Now you don't have to use alcohol for this. You could also use water as well. I just wanted to make sure that I got a nice clean surface to get my paint on there. And it's funny, when it's wet, it always looks good. So usually if I'm going to keep it clear, I'll just throw a clear coat on it, because then it has that wet look and gets rid of all that white crusties. But I think I probably got most of it. Alright, I'm going to quickly do a water rinse. I'll be right back, you guys. So hold up, you can watch the paints right here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to zoom in on the color paint I use so you guys can write this down. This is the color match paint for the saddle. So there is the numbers. I'll be right back so you guys can write those down. I am back. Did a little extra scrubbing while I was in there with the toothbrush and the water. Actually, it's funny. It looks so good when it's wet. Ooh, that your toothbrush has the power. Thanks, Irk. So now I'm just doing a nice dry wipe on this to clear it all off, to get rid of all the water and any extra alcohol residue left behind. There shouldn't be a lot of extra alcohol residue left behind, because I scrubbed that pretty well. Now you don't want to use a towel for this, or any kind of cloth that you washed yourself, because a lot of times cloths you washed yourself will have softener or other things from the soap, and that will actually impregnate itself into the plastic and make it so your paint won't adhere as well. So you want to get what's known as a nice water break-free surface. That is where you put the water on, it just sloughs and makes a film. If it just slides off completely, you don't have a water break. I mean, just still have some impurities and some residue on your parts. You want it so the water just sticks to it completely, makes a nice sheen all the way across. So and there we go. Perfect? No, but really good? Yeah. We still got a couple spots of some crusties still on there, and if I was going to hit it with clear, those crusties would all go away. But it was going to work for our paint. We're going to put a nice thick coat of that paint on there, and it will not be visible whatsoever. Now, before I get painting this, I do want to do a fit check, because it'd really stink if I spent all this time painting it and find out I need to grind it some more, something else to fit on it. And so I'm going to stick this on his face. And open his mouth and jam it on his nose. That is a tight fit. It didn't fit as good as my other helmet. Why is that? I printed them at the exact same time. I hate that signs about printers. How one will fit like super awesome and the other one won't fit quite as good. But it's still good enough. I think I like the way it fits. It's going to work. But I just wish it was a little bit tighter. That's a bummer. All right, so let's go ahead. Oh yeah, there's some residue right in the nose section. Let me just do a quick little sand on that, and then we'll get to painting. So again, you guys can look at the paint numbers I'm going to use. Dun dun dun. I'll be right back with my grinder. I guess calling it a grinder is pretty severe. It's just my little Dremel tool. And we're just going to take and put my favorite little accessory on there, this little rounded one. And just do a little bit of sculpting on the inside of this to make sure it fits. And it's just this way of some kind of 3D prints. I don't know why. The first one came out beautiful, as you guys saw. But the second one just has a little bit of issue. I'm just going to try to see if I can find exactly where that is on the inside of that helmet. So I'm just jamming it on there and seeing if it's the nose or if it's higher up. Oh, I can't get in there with this safety device on there. Now I got to pull off my safety device. That's always scary. Always scary. No safety. Just do a little bit of grinding right in the nose area. All right, I'm gonna go water rinse it, and I'll be right back. The most annoying part is I spent all the time drying it before I fit tested it. Now I know better. Fit test first, then dry. There we go. Dun da da, dun da 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 da. Much better. That was going to work just beautifully. All right, now we'll dry, then we'll get to painting. Oh, I forgot my paper cup. See, I keep forgetting all this little stuff. Hey, Black Phoenix 77, thanks for joining us. Juan Solo, thanks for being here. Jeff, thanks for being here. Mike Fee, thanks for being here. have the, we have that cringer, but we don't have the helmet and the saddle. This is my favorite. There you go. All right. So let me go and grab my paper cup that I paint these helmets on. You know what? Now I think about it. Oh yeah, I use it for drawing. I can use this for drawing. I can just go like this. Burp. That will work. Just use my alcohol bottle. Okay. So now that I told you the paint I'm going to use, this paint right here, and I cut it color match to the saddle. You guys should have already written that down twice because I kept zooming in. I put it in the bottle right here to make it easier to open because these cans are a pain. They switched out the cans since I first started using them. And one more quick dry on here. You want to hang on to half the helmet. Zoop. And then you just carefully dip your paint into the paintbrush, or into the paintbrush into the paint, and just put on a real thin coat the first time. This coat's really thin. It's just to be used to get the paint to adhere in a few minutes. So it's just a real thin coat, and you don't want to gloop it on. You want to keep it extremely thin, because if you gloop it on anywhere, then it is going to take forever to dry, and it's not going to be nice and smooth. It's going to be a mess. So just put it on super light, that first coat. And I guess I could have clear coated this first. The paint would adhere better if I would have, but that's okay. This will still work. Now I'm not going to paint the inside because I don't want the paint to scratch or get all over the actual head of the figure at all. So I'm just going to paint the edge. And I'm only going halfway across. And then once this dries a little bit, then I'll switch sides and do the other side. Just make sure I got this all smoothed out, nice and clean. And I know it looks like nothing's going on hardly, but there's just a slight difference. And that's all we want for this first coat, just a slight difference. We don't want it glooped on at all. Just really faint. And it's just basically to lay down that first coat so that the other next coats will adhere really well. All right, then just do a really light brush over the top of it. Now it's starting to dry, just to keep any brush marks out of it. All right, there's our first coat. All right, now let's go ahead and you can see the difference between the two sides. And so that's just the start. Now we're going to switch sides. I'm going to hang on to it here. And now I'm going to do the other side. And by the time I get this other side just about done, I'll be able to switch to the back side over here and hang on to it and finish it. So let me go ahead and do this side now. Now after I finish all this, I am going to put a clear coat on it. And I've shown videos on the clear coats before. Basically I use and then while the matte coat's still wet, I spray on the higher gloss coat, and it comes out looking really nice. I always get my fingers. Today I'm going to have Battle Cat armor color paint on my fingers when I'm done. And again, you're just trying to do a really light coat. You don't want it thick at all. It's funny, I could hear my printer in the next room starting to, or not starting, but printing some more floors for the Classics Castle Grayskull. This is like watching paint dry, man. Ugh. So as long as you keep those coats thin, they will dry fast enough to keep putting your coats on. Hopefully, and get these all done. Okay, now it's starting to thicken up. Right here's the point where you want to just lightly wipe it on and get rid of any brush marks you might have left behind. Now be careful, because if you push too hard, you're going to actually pull the paint back off of the sculpt. So it's really delicate. All right, well, that's looking pretty good. Now normally I let it sit for like 10 minutes and come back, but I know it's a live video, so I'm going to try to paint the other side. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I don't destroy the paint, because usually I'd wait 10 minutes, come back, and do the other side, but we shall try and experiment and see. Painting the happy helmet. And here is the happy helmet that he will go and cause mayhem to Skeletor and his minions as he rides them out to battle for the bloodthirst of Battle Cat. See, that second coating is coating a lot better now. And that's what you do, just go back and forth, doing half at a time. Seems weird to do so many coats at once. Like I said, usually I would let it sit for 10 minutes in between each coat at least. I may have to stop the video and finish painting this later just so it can dry. I can tell there's some spots that are causing me issues. I didn't let it dry all the way. All right, now back to this side. And again, you're not trying to paint it all in one swipe. You're not going to come back and probably do 3 to 4 layers total. So just keep that in mind. If you try to paint it all at once, it's going to look awful. So you want to make sure you put the coats on thin enough so that you don't make a gloppy mess. Otherwise it's going to look awful and it's going to be obvious that you hacked and slacked it together. Which is why I'm kind of thinking about letting the next coat dry in between, because you can see the paint's coming off right there because I didn't let it dry all the way last time. And now this side's starting to thicken up before I got it all over because I'm trying to fix the other side. So yeah, I'm going to have to let it dry before I continue on, you guys. Sorry, I was hoping to paint the whole helmet in this one video, but I'll have to combine the videos later on. Otherwise, you guys will be sitting for 10-minute intervals. But before I end this video, I am going to show you guys the color, how close it is to the saddle. Now, it will change some more slightly, and being this was totally red when I first started, you can see that it's pretty hard to cover that red up completely. So it does still have a lot of red hues in it, which will take quite a while to cover all that. And let me show you how it looks so far in comparison. So see, here's the original helmet, and there's the one I'm painting. So you can kind of see the color, how close it is. And like I said, as I add more coats, we get more and more closer to the color. And it'll look really cool when it's all done. All right, so with that, you can go ahead and set this on the alcohol bottle to dry. Burp. And then I'll come back and finish painting it later after it has a chance to dry. So sorry, I was hoping to do this whole thing I said, but anyway, the next things is I'm going to use this skin and this orange and mix them together to make this brown color right here for the piece right here. And then I'll be painting these though, and these and some other pieces on it. And then after that, I will choose one of these yellows in order to paint the eyes. I'm probably going to use this yellow right here, so I'll show you guys the color so you can see it. Where is the color on here? Oh, it's in really white lettering at the top. Dark yellow. The other ones I've used before is just yellow with no particular name to it, just yellow. And then I also have this bright yellow. So again, for the highlights, I use this, which I call my skin color. And you can see the color. Golden brown. And then here's the orange I use. And these two mixed together usually work pretty good. Sometimes I have to gray it out if it's a little too much color. Hey, thanks, Masterverse Toy Hunter. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Very cool. And sometimes I will mix in a little bit of brown if it's not working, or I might mix white and black together in order to make a gray and then add that to it too. All right. Masterverse Toy Hunter, that's so cool of you. I really appreciate that. And let's see, Juan Solo, if Mattel's going to sell the new stuff in the net, will it be limited like the exclusives? Oh, that's a good question. I hope not. I hope it's made to order stuff. All right. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Hopefully I'll be able to do another video today to show you this finished, or at least do some more work on it. I don't know if I'm going to show videos of me actually painting all of it. To do the eyes, I use this little small brush right here, and I just keep touching the brush into the eye hole over and over and just put lots of yellow, really thick, one coat only, just a super thick coat. All right, that is all that I have. I'll have to look what you're talking about, those classics. If they're actually making classics again, that would be really cool. Hopefully Scott's right. All right, like, subscribe, and I will tell you guys, or I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's see. Thanks, I appreciate it, Mr. Toy Hunter. And until next time, good journey. See you, Juan Soto.